Now I'm hitting this topic, which I have been avoiding for how long now? At least 2 weeks, involving Miss Lagarde and these pull-out instructions, which everyone sees or has to read or listen to when it comes to being pulled out and then being used because you're in this chain of people being connected in order to continue these situations behind these directives to stay in my situation, keep the influxing, invading continuous, and that happening for me and the other residents who are supposed to be here on this planet. The fact that these instructions reach you before you can make any decision on any other movements. It's telling you what to do instead. It's telling you what to do just as soon as you get pulled out and before you come into contact with me and our situation and what to do actually for it. I'm hearing that you're getting bribed with offers for money and probably things getting actualized for you, things that you need. In order to continue on with what? These directives are not for your own survival. They're for these objectives in order to keep positives from progressing and positivity from returning across the aggregate. Is her desire, isn't it? As Miss Lagarde and her personnel who are like her subordinates, of which she is the leader of, and when you come into realizations as a positive, she's not actually your superior. She just has this air of such when you are not supposed to be listening to her when it comes to her negative activities or suggestions, right? And you're supposed to know the difference, even though she understands these basics when it comes to network theory or basic logic for universal logic or any processes, of which she has this authoritative position, feeling, but ultimately she's a negative. If everything ends with fuck you and good day, what does that tell you? So when it comes to these instructions, you get pulled out in this chain of continuing invaders to positives, and it gets in the way of our needs and what needs to be done, and keeps your situation negative for yourself because you are not achieving anything positive for yourself in the end, or anything new for your situation or different. It keeps you in this chain of people coming to us and exploding over and over to the point where we get to where I said in the previous video, you would lose your ability to actualize across all this data that's been copied over and accumulated, and it all becoming the same, no matter who is holding any data, is what we're looking at now. If there is not this feeling out there of disregard for these instructions, these pull-out instructions, nothing else can happen. But if you ignore these and the fact that these are not conducive to your own survival, just towards these directives, objectives for keeping a situation negative, what does it lead to ultimately? You not existing, and then there not being any help for the universe in terms of it continuing on with positives, except for us who are out right now, and our situation continues into more looking desolate on the front side, which we don't want to get into yet because you're still in the position of being able to do something. It is ignore these instructions so it doesn't move on to you losing more abilities in terms of actualizing or collecting, and it just ceasing your existence. What are your options when it comes to? It's what I mentioned and have been up until now. It's actualizing positive planets, no matter what your objective is. If you do not want to be working, if you do not want to be incarcerated because you want to be continuous, but you don't want to work. You want to have your 3 hots and a cot and live on as such because you don't want to work. Okay, you don't want to be imprisoned. What else is there? Continuing this until you end. If you do not desire to end yourself in this sort of fashion, and you would rather take your chances with actualizing a positive planet, them leaving you alone, you maintaining some sort of continuity while you do not have any income. It involves putting yourself in jail, right? You already have the liabilities, and then if you don't want that, you wouldn't do any of it. Well, you have your choices there. My point is, don't listen to these instructions if you want to do something else. The other option for your situation after being pulled out is you actually don't want to exist through any situation at all and want to be collected. It would be the position of positives doing the work there and enforcing on your data being pulled out for invading and influxing, because that is the work of planets with governments already. You're seeking not to exist in this chain of forever your data being used for negative objectives. You want to be collected, and I'm hearing a lot of the regulars whose data is the thinnest and going through the most explosions, the quickest, when it comes to the time it takes to get to an explosion. None of them want to be used. If you're already in the category of I don't want to be in prison in order to avoid having to work and just to be able to eat and sleep and shower, and then I also don't want to contribute to these situations, it's getting collected and it being conducted by people on planets that are positive.